Okay, since I have time, I'm going to go ahead and do part 3 of my diary. This part's going to be kind of my background with CJ. So I met him, it was my second year of grad school. It was the summertime, and I decided to get a part-time job because the summer semester, my first year of grad school, left me with way too much free time, and I thought the second year summer was going to be the same, and I was totally wrong. School would have kept me busy enough, but I went ahead and got a job anyways. So I started working at a restaurant, and that's where I met CJ. And I think I liked him pretty much from the first time that I saw him. I don't believe in love at first sight, but I at least was very attracted to him. And so I would try to talk to him and stuff, and eventually I found out that he had a girlfriend, but, to me that was, oh, okay, well, I've had an unrequited love before. I've been through that, so to me it wasn't a big deal. It was just kind of like, well, we'll just be friends, it's fine, I'll get over it. I figured as long as I could just enjoy his company. And it was fine that way for a while, but the thing is CJ is a very, he comes across very flirty. And he knew that I liked him, and so I told him, I was like, look, don't flirt with me. The things that you're doing are flirty, and so don't do it. But basically, instead of stopping the behavior that I told him that I thought was flirty, he would basically told me, he was like, well, that's just how I am. Don't read too much into it, kind of a thing. So I adjusted to that. I just kind of put up with it. And so it did kind of toy with my emotions a little bit because, I knew he had a girlfriend, and he wasn't doing anything to discourage me from liking him. It's like he didn't discourage me from, trying to spend time with him and stuff like that. And I think I was looking for him to do that. I wanted him to discourage me at that point, but he didn't. And so instead, I kept trying to hang out with him. I probably at that point should have, I don't know, I guess because I didn't have any intentions, I didn't see anything wrong with continuing to pursue friendship. So we went on, I went on my winter break, so I went back to St. Louis, but we would text back and forth. We would get anywhere between 1 to 5 interactions a day, which he told me was the most consistent he's ever been texting anybody. Which I think made me feel like he had some kind of certain, like a special regard towards me. And I enjoyed it. It was fun. I had a good time with it. And it had been a long time since, I've never dated anybody, ever. I've been on dates and not known about it till the last minute of the date. I've never consistently dated anybody. I've been on dates, but I haven't dated anybody. And so it was just fun for me. But anyway, so we made arrangements for when I came back to Kansas City to celebrate my birthday together. I got to celebrate while I was at home with my family, but my actual birthday was going to be at a time when I wasn't home anymore. So I came back to Kansas City, and so we went out dancing. It was a Wednesday night, so it's not like there were people out or anything like that, but we went out to a bar, and they had a dance floor, but we didn't dance because CJ was too shy. Or at least we didn't dance much. We danced a little bit, I guess, after, having gotten a couple of drinks down, but, and CJ was very flirty with me. I think at that point he knew that I was very much inexperienced. And I remember that night he asked me to kiss him on the cheek because I've never kissed anybody. I think I have attempted once and it didn't work out very well. And that was way back in high school, and I attempted to kiss somebody on the forehead, and it was really awkward because it probably didn't feel like a kiss. But anyways, enough with the awkward high school stories. So I kissed him on the cheek. He was probably drunk by that point, and I had no idea. CJ's kind of one of those people who you don't know is drunk until they are plastered and blacked out. At least, when you're first getting to know him. So yeah, we danced, we drank. I gave him the one kiss. He flirted with me. We were very flirty with each other. And, at the end of the night, it was, I drove us back. Because he didn't trust himself to drive. So I drove us back to my apartment. And I think he was intending to leave at that point, but then I guess he changed his mind, so he came up to the apartment with me. I think, I just figured that we were going to sit on the couch and chat and hang out a little bit. Or, I don't know, figured maybe he needed to drink some water or something before leaving. But then he ended up kind of coming on to me. And I just kind of let it happen. I had never done anything before. I never kissed a guy before that night. Never did anything sexual. None of it. And I think I was just at the point where I didn't know what to do. I liked CJ, and, I did want to have that physical interaction with him. But there was still the fact that he had a girlfriend. And so I think my mind just kind of froze up. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was happening at first. I didn't know how far it was going to go. I don't know. I just kind of went blank, I guess. And I just kind of let it happen. I remember thinking at some point after things were already started, it was just kind of like, I'm 24 years old now and I've never done this, and I feel like I should at least know about that, that part of life. I guess I wanted experience. I wanted to know, and so I just let it happen. And I remember at some point asking CJ, what about your girlfriend? And he said that he didn't care. Like I said, I didn't realize he was drunk, as drunk as he was. So I assumed that when he said that he didn't care, that their relationship was over. And so I let things continue on. We weren't very successful because it was my first time. So it wasn't a great night. uh, and I had school the next day, so I had to be up early. And when I woke him up, he kind of freaked out a little bit. And I still didn't realize that he was drunk the night before. I mean, it concerned me a little bit when he was just like, "Why am I naked?" Yeah, that was kind of a scary morning because I woke CJ up and I told him I have to go. And I have no idea what he was thinking that morning. But I remember on my way out, I saw a girl looking very concerned, kind of roaming around the area, and I realized that was his girlfriend. I didn't say anything to her. I just remember being very nervous. And so I texted CJ to tell him, I think your girlfriend is here. And so yeah, that was that day. And I don't remember much of it. I just remember just being confused, not knowing what was going on. I assumed that CJ and Michelle were going to break up that day. And I told CJ that we had to talk, and he kind of put me off for a little while. And all those all the things that guys do to try to kind of curb a girl's anger, or that they think would be better, typically doesn't work for me. I prefer to talk about things right away. I don't like to let things sit for a while. And I think CJ just had in mind that he needed to give me space for a few days. And that was not the case, because usually with situations like that, the longer that I have to dwell on it, with it being unresolved, the worse I get. The more it eats away at me. So yeah, that was the first time that we cheated. And it was on my birthday, which is a little scarring. But yeah, so growing up, I never thought I'd be the kind of person to do that. I've always been the goody good, the innocent one, I couldn't, I was always the person that people would be like, Jessie, she wouldn't hurt a fly, and here I was doing something that, I would have totally judged somebody else for doing the same. I never understood. I'm like, why can't people just keep it in their pants? But I guess I had never, I don't know, I had never experienced emotion, in terms of wanting something so bad, or enough to let something like that happen. So yeah, my 15 minutes are up. I'm gonna try to shorten my history with CJ, because otherwise I will talk about it for a long time. And nobody wants to listen that long. So, Till next time.